Hello friends, we've got a lot of yarn to spin today. We're going to be talking about the ranunculus, of course, and the different changes and modifications we made. We're going to be talking about chickens, and we're going to talk about other projects that we have on the needles and crochet hook. So grab your favorite project and something to drink and yarn over with us.
And I said, you have just made my day.
Well, hello there. We are so glad that you have tuned in today and are going to join us in our friendly yarn circle. We're glad that you're a part of it. We're going to be talking about knitting and crocheting today, and maybe tell you a few stories. And the main thing is we're going to laugh a lot because you know that is medicine. That's our therapy.
That's right. That's right. That's Susie, and my name is Linda.
Oh, hey, I'm
in case
Susie.
you're new. See, we just assume you know who we are already, but in case you're new.
We're hoping that you are tuning in and you are new, and I'm Susie, and I live in Huntsville, Alabama. Thanks, Linda.
That's okay. And my name is Linda, and I live in the Charlotte area. And if you are new, please mention in the comments who invited you. And I think we're going to have to do what church does and get the announcement out at the beginning. And the announcement here is we would love for you to share our episode or share that you watch on your social media. The more that this channel is talked about, it grabs the attention of YouTube, and YouTube has just been oddly ignoring us, and we're not really sure why. So anyway, if you share, your voice will make YouTube do their job. So anyway, and so before we get into our knitting and our projects, we always like to catch up with life, and I don't really have too much to say, but Susie, I think you've got a story to tell.
I do. And before I start, I just want to make sure that people understand that's not a Christmas tree behind me. That's my summer tree. That's my summer tree.
But it was a Christmas tree.
It was, because I have a Christmas tree, and then I switch it out to a spring tree, and then I switch out to summer, then fall, then back to Christmas. And I've had so much going on in my life that I skip from Christmas to summer. So anyway, this is my summer tree, and my tree stays up year round. And I have a lot of fun just giving it a different look. So just want to make sure you knew that I'm not celebrating Christmas yet.
It is anyway, pretty.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's very simple. And it stays out of the way. Not everybody has, can let a tree like this stay up. But it's in a corner in my den. It stays out of the way, and so it works. And the grandkids love it. They love coming to Grand's house to see what the tree looks like, and sometimes what's under it. Because you can always put things under the tree.
Oh, how fun.
So anyway, the story that I had to tell last episode, I'd let y'all know that I had fallen at my daughter's house and had hurt my leg. And so I had been hobbling around, had gone to the emergency room, and the word that I had gotten there was that my leg was, nothing in my body was broken. They had taken x-rays of my shoulder, my hip, my leg, my foot, so everything was okay. And I brought 2 grandchildren home with me on July the 4th. We took a 6.5-hour drive together, a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old, and me. And of course I had to get out of the car and pump gas. I had to go in and take them to the bathroom. I had to lift a 2-year-old up on a changing table and change her diaper. And so, it was a long, slow trip because I was moving very slow with the damage that had happened to my leg. And so when I got home, I had called the next week and made an appointment to go to an orthopedic practice here in Huntsville, and they could not get me in until July the 31st. And so I thought, well, I'll just try to hold on. I told them I was in a lot of pain and I felt like my leg needed to be seen. And so it would be this past Friday, a week ago, the calf of my leg was so swollen that, in a lot of pain, that I felt like that I needed to have my leg checked. And so I went ahead and went into urgent care and let them know that I was there because of this fall. And so my leg had healed enough at that point that I could let them touch it, bend it, check it out. And he let me know that I needed an MRI. And so he said, we need to speed this process up. So he scheduled my MRI for last week on Tuesday. And it was really interesting. I was in the machine for about 15 minutes. And so when the test finished, the gal came around and she said, did you have x-rays taken of this? And I said, yes. And so I gave her the details. And I said, they said nothing was broken. And she said, really? And I said, well, yeah. And she said, you've done a number on that leg. And she said, don't you miss your appointment with the doctor Thursday. So this was Tuesday evening. So Thursday morning, I made it to the doctor, and I'm sitting in there, and I actually saw my doctor's PA. And so when she came in, she said, tell me about this fall you had. So of course I had to recount everything again. And she asked the same question, was x-rays taken of your leg? And I said, yes. And she said, and what did they tell you? And I said, well, they told me that I had no broken bones. And she said, well, and she had really hated to tell me this, but she said, well, she said, your leg is broken.
Oh,
And I said, what? I've got a broken leg. And she said, your leg is broken. And she said, and how long ago did this happen? And I said, well, this coming Sunday will be 3 weeks ago. And I had just, I had been home a week without the grandchildren. They had left this was on a Thursday, so they had just left on Sunday, the previous Sunday. So I had been for almost 3 weeks walking around on a broken leg, and I had told my husband, I said, this is the most painful thing that I've ever experienced in my life, but you know what I would do? I would be sitting, and I couldn't move for the first 3 days, and I was at my daughter's house then, but I would say, the doctor said you didn't have any broken bones, you can stand up and you can walk. And so I would stand up and I would walk, and I had a broken leg. But I kind of feel like I'm not so much of a baby, because I would come, it's like, well, I'm in so much pain and this is awful, and I still can't go down steps. Because the other thing that they told me is not only was the top of my tibia that connects into the knee completely broken, but the PCL, which is a ligament that connects the knee into the tibia, was almost severed. She said it was like little fibers were holding the ligament together. And she said, you do not need to be walking on this leg. And she said you could fall, you could twist it wrong, and the leg could break in two. She said the positive of all of this, it's not displaced. The bone is back together completely. And I don't know how many of you out there believe in the power of prayer, but when I fail, my little 6-year-old granddaughter, she knows how to pray. And I called her over to me when I was on the floor and I was in such extreme pain. And I said, oh, Sawyer, pray for Grand's leg. And she laid her little hands on my leg and began to pray. And I believe that the Lord did something right then for my leg, because He foreknew that I was going to go to that emergency room and they were going to send me out of there with nothing, with a broken leg. And so I truly don't know how that I have gone through the last weeks, but the Lord has given supernatural strength. And I'm so thrilled that I had that time with our granddaughters and made memories, even though I was doing it with a broken leg.
Oh, man.
But, dear Lord, that just kind of tells you, even when you go to doctors, you might not always get correct diagnosis. They don't know how that they missed that broken leg, and my leg was swollen. Even when I got to the ER, it was completely swollen. It was already bruising. And so anyway, I'm this past Sunday was 4 weeks since the fall. So the leg is mending and I will heal from this. That's good news.
Oh, Susie, that is just awful. That's just awful.
Well,
Oh,
I know there's been lessons learned in this somehow. I may not be able
what
to
would
tell
that
them to you
be?
right now, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
that you can walk on a broken leg.
Oh man, no.
I've always said that I had a high tolerance of pain, and this proves
Yeah,
it.
no kidding. Oh, that proves it. You are tough. You are tough. Oh man. Well,
So
it's like
I've
not
really
today,
gotten a lot-
Satan.
Yeah, that's right. And so I have knitted when I felt like it, but there has the last few days I have really been able to focus in on some knitting, so that's been nice.
Well, pain is exhausting, you know.
It is.
It exhausts
it's so
you.
exhausting. It's exhausting just to get up and go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so, and that is getting easier, So I'll return to the doctor in about 2.5 weeks and they'll check everything out and kind of let me know where we go from here, So they're trying to let that bone heal.
Well, the funny thing, you guys, is when Susie called to tell me this, she was at work, and I said, will that ligament heal without surgery? And she says, I have a doctor laying here. She says, yes. I'm like, you just happen to have a doctor laying there.
I did.
It just, the way you said it was so funny.
And for those of you that don't know, I do lash extensions. So she was laying there getting lash extensions.
Oh man, that's wild. Well, there it is. That's a story, I tell you. Well,
So what you got going on in your life?
nothing quite is dramatic. We really just, life, the usual thing. But last weekend we did go camping, and I'm going to show a little picture here. We went camping and we at Lake Murray, South Carolina, and we literally were backed up right to the lake, and it's a very large
view.
Yeah, it's a very large lake, and the nice thing, of course, we have beautiful lakes in North Carolina, but in North Carolina, there's laws where you can only swim at beach areas, which is really unfortunate. And in this place, you could just literally go, there were some steps down there, and you could just go down and get in the water, and it was very clear and very clean. And because the lake is so big, even though there are houses, all around the lake and boats, they were so spread out that it didn't have a lot of traffic. Not that we would have had traffic close to us anyway, because there's the area way over there.
Wait a minute, you were able to swim in that?
Oh yeah, we bobbed around. I'm tan. I even have
wait a minute. You just said, wait a minute.
Yeah,
you just
because
said
that's South Carolina.
That's South Carolina. Okay. That's
yeah,
right.
and so while we like going to the lakes in North Carolina, we can't swim in them unless we, have to.
I didn't know that was a law in North
At the state
Carolina.
parks. Well, at the state parks, and I know it has
okay.
stuff to do with drowning and all of that. And
I
but
understand that.
yeah, let me see if I can find one other one. It was just so pretty. It was that was actually on Sunday, as we, the last day we were there. So anyway, I'm gonna remove all of that. So yeah. So other than that, just knitting. I did a lot of knitting while I was away because we were there from Thursday to Sunday. But that was fairly disastrous, which we'll get into later. But I guess we'll get into it later. So, but why don't we go ahead then and get into our projects. So do you have any finished projects that you want to share? Or do you have works in progress?
I wish I did, but I have nothing finished.
You've been a little busy.
Well, I have been working, on the northeasterly blanket. Now, I did do a lot on that. I'm just going to show you how that's coming along. So I'm doing this with my yarn club with a Yarnable DK weight yarn that I get each month. Mm-hmm. And so here is...
That's nice.
And this, so it's coming right along.
Yeah,
And these
it
are
is.
these are the new this is a new color here, and then I'm adding it down here at the bottom.
I just noticed your little needle tips.
Oh no, they're
I've-
coffee.
I think mine are iced coffee. I prefer to think they're iced coffee as well. I like them.
You know what? I think I told you this morning when we were getting everything together. I told you, I said, I'm having my cup of coffee. I said, but it doesn't do anything for me. I just use it for aromatherapy. For years, I would hear people say, I can't get going in the morning without a cup of coffee. And I would always think, why do they say that? And because I can drink it or I don't have to drink it, it doesn't wake me up. I feel just as awake
wakes
when
me up.
I feel it just awake when I drink it and I don't drink it. And did you know that years ago
unfortunate.
I did one of those DNA testings, and they show your genetic markers. And
Yeah.
I have a genetic marker that I metabolize caffeine very quickly. It doesn't stay in my body. And so when I read that, I thought, well, no wonder I don't care if I have coffee or not. But I love the aromatherapy of it. So I drink coffee in the morning for aromatherapy.
Well, that
Not to
reminds
wake
me
up.
of a story. So we're at the lake, and of course on this lake there are a lot of marinas and restaurants and whatever. And so my husband said, why don't we get up tomorrow morning and not make coffee and just go out for breakfast? Which is really odd for us because normally we don't leave our campsite. But anyway, it was so hot, and you can only prune out in the water so long, so we're like, okay, we'll just kind of use up some time. It's better than, sitting inside the camper. So we went to a restaurant. In fact, I do Google reviews, and I almost only do good reviews because I don't like to really spread bad reviews, but they got a bad review. We walked into this place and there were 4 teenagers, just socializing up a storm and, talk, and right there, I'm a little put off. I'm a little old school. It's like, if you're going to check me out at a register or if you're going to serve me, pay attention to me. I've literally had somebody check me out, take my money, and never really talk to me because they're talking to someone else. It's mind-blowingly rude to me. But anyway, and so we walked in and she said, the hostess said, you want to sit over here? I said, yes. And I said, all we really need right now is coffee. And she walked away. And nobody came. And nobody came, and nobody came. We were sitting there, and the hostess came by again, and we said, do you think we could just get a cup of coffee? She's like, oh, it's self-serve. You can go get it. I thought, oh my goodness. Okay, that's
So
fine, but you could.
Buffet? Did they have a buffet?
No, you
Okay.
just serve your own coffee. And so I'm thinking, well, that would have been nice if you would have told me, when we first came in, and I told you I wanted coffee, and then, then the food came, and it was not very good, and it was very pricey, and we're just like, and we say this all the time, why do we go out to eat? We should just stay home where we have good food. But it was very odd, so it's like, you gotta give me my coffee. But yes, I need my coffee. So, in fact, I'm drinking iced coffee right here. So I have my Sustain electrolytes and my coffee. So I'm double barreled here.
You're good. You're good to go.
I'm good. So you're working on your blanket. All right. Well,
I am. Get my
you
blanket.
are. I love it. Yeah, I'm working on this poncho, but we're going to go ahead. I'm going to talk about my ranunculus because I have to say I'm very proud that it's done. And honestly, it only
looks
took
beautiful on you.
Well, thank you. And it only took a week. So first of all, I want to share with you where the yarn came from. This is Toby, and this is where my yarn came from.
Aw, he
look
is
at
so
his little
cute.
heart-shaped nose. Isn't he adorable?
Yeah, I love his ears.
I know.
Little fuzzy ears.
Well, they're hairy. And so one of the
Yeah.
things, if you ever knit with alpaca, or just this is 100% alpaca, is there are long hairs. They really, if you really look, I should almost get just him there, but they have hair. It isn't really like wool. And so I wear like, I was wearing some black, like my pajamas are black, like a t-shirt dress, and I have hair all over it, and it's not my cat, it's my alpaca. So anyway, but that's Toby, and isn't he cute? So of course it was white.
Darling.
And then, as we talked about last time, I dyed it. So that was really fun. But anyway, so my yarn is 100% alpaca. And I'm just going to share some of the things that I learned as I went, because what I did was I printed out the pattern and I wrote Ranunculus #1 because I plan on making another. And I wrote down my yarn, what I used, and how much I had. And I actually had this much yarn left out of only two hanks of it. And so that was kind of interesting. I just really didn't know how far it would go. I mean, I just didn't know. So, but I had plenty. Playing yard chicken, I won very much. So with that one, but anyway. So basically, I'll just start with the size I picked. I actually I used a size 9 needle. Now the pattern calls for 10, but when I did my swatch, a 9 needle gave me gauge, perfect gauge, which was interesting. Okay. And it gave a fabric I liked, so I didn't have to, wear anything underneath it, because I just really don't care to do that. I used an 8 though for the cast on and the ribbing, okay, and then 9 for the body. I lived on Sun Dragon Art and Fiber channel. She has a complete playlist of every step of how to do it, and I'm a very visual. Oh, she's awesome, and she does it very well. It was excellent. And so every step, and she'd even say at the beginning, we're on step 2 or step 3. And so you could follow along what the pattern was saying, and then you could, of course, do it along with her. This is a Japanese pattern, and while the stitches are not completely unfamiliar, the way they do them is different, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like speaking a foreign language of sorts, so but anyway, so I used a size 1. I used the very first size because, again, this pattern has 16 inches of ease, and I have a 102 centimeter bust. And so I wanted a 45-inch finished project, and this comes to 46. That was good. I wanted 45, and so this is 46. So it's got plenty of ease in it. I mean, and it's stretchy anyway. So that worked out very, very well. The first thing I did differently, and I learned this from, I think the Nitty Stew, not sure, but many say the same thing. I didn't do her cast on. Her cast on is very convoluted.
And wait a minute, what kind of cast on does she tell you to do?
It is called the twist loop cast on. And Midori does do videos as well, but they're real short. Like they're like that short. And so you have to play them over and over. And I like how the Sun Dragon, she goes through it with you all the way basically around the sweater. So that was good. So I just did a regular cast on, long tail cast on. It worked perfectly. And the other thing I did differently, the cast on calls for 60 stitches and then you do increases. I went ahead and did the 90. And again, I learned that from either the Nitty Stew or the, is it Black Cat Knit Co. I will put them in the description down there, because their Ravelry pages have a lot of details in them, and that really helped me kind of figure it out, because it was like I was decoding all the time. I had to figure out, but I already made notes on my pattern before I started when I learned things from their channel. Did that make sense? So when I got there, for instance, I have, skip. Well, I could skip these increases because I already did the 90 over here. So, and what that did is it made a nice neckline. I don't need it close. I don't want it.
Right.
So I went ahead and did the 90. I also did a twisted knit and purl, and I learned that from the black cat lady. I'm gonna figure out her name. I really should pause and find it. But what it does when you twist, when you knit and purl in the back, is it kind of closes up the holes that you would normally have in a ribbing, and it just twists them and makes them real neat and tidy. And I did like that, so I will remember that for all sweaters. I really liked it. And of course, again, I cast on with the 8, a smaller needle, because I'm going to go to 9 down here. And then in the section 2, when you do the short rows in the pattern, and I love in the updated pattern, if you guys downloaded this maybe a couple years ago, go back and get the updated version, because she added pictures, she added a lot, and she added more sizes as well. But I love the pictures because I'm visual. So here she's showing, you know, the short rows, and of course in the back it's always a good idea. I didn't see why to put them in the front, and the only reason I can say that it might be nice, I mean, I'm glad I didn't, but it would give some separation between the ribbing and the first decorative stitch. And maybe that's why she does them, but I just didn't really see doing short rows in the front and the back. And they are 2 different steps, so you can just skip them. And I did. I skipped the front short rows. And then, let's see, then my notes just kind of always begin like what I should be looking for when I do these stitches, because then you'll know you're off. Anyway, you'll see there's a pattern, of course, and then when you do this next pattern, you're always at a certain stitch, and you want to make sure that that stitch is above it, otherwise you know you're off, you got to go back. And so, but I didn't really have to do that very much. The other little tricky thing I learned, and I did have to take it apart, and I had 2 days of frustration, I have to say. I probably could have knit this in 5 days, but it took me 7. And that is when you get to the raglan section. I mean, you do not count your end of row marker. There's only 4. Okay, the 2 in the front and the 2 in the back. And I was doing these increases, and I was just always had the wrong amount of stitches. Well, luckily I'd always find out early, because she does give you a very nice chart telling you how many stitches you should have. However, I couldn't figure out what was wrong. So I went back to the Sun Dragon and I watched the video, and I watched it again. I'm like, she's not using the end of row marker, because that's adding 2 extra stitches, and so that made it all messy. But anyway, that's just a dumb thing I did. So, and other than that, oh, the sleeves. Now I can tell you this, when you divide for the sleeves, I would always divide for the long sleeve, even if you're not making the long sleeve, because when you divide off and separate for the long sleeve, you're putting your sleeve stitches on, you know, waste yarn, scrap yarn, or if you have a holder big enough. The other way does it differently, and I just like picking up the stitches that have been kept on the waste yarn. It's just what I'm familiar with, and you can make them this long. Oh, thunder! Oh, I hope we get rain. I hope we get rain. I hope we get rain. No, really. Our grass is crunchy. It's awful. Maybe we'll get rain. But anyway, and so then, you know, you can just, when it's time for the sleeves, you can just go ahead and make them as long as you want. So I would definitely, I put a note, for all, do the long sleeve option and knit as long as you need them. So that was my other thing. And other than that, I just kept track of how many, you know, ribs I did, in case I care later. And oh, the bind off. I undid my bind off at the bottom. I didn't like it at all. It's called the Lori's Twisty Bind Off. It's not stretchy enough. Okay. Yes. So I couldn't think of the word. It was awful. It basically, it didn't even want to go over my hips. So I took it off. I undid it all, and then I used a stretchy bind off that's actually very, very easy that I found on YouTube. In fact, I think I asked on Instagram or somewhere what they liked for their favorite bind off, but I found one that was so easy and it's awesome and I will use it forevermore. So I can put that up in the description as well. And really, that's about it. That's what I did, and it turned out great, and I'm ready to start another one. But I didn't yet.
Now, Linda, tell them how long you made your sweater. You did a more of a short version because you're short-waisted.
Well, I don't really think it's short. It's to here, but everybody told me alpaca is going to stretch. So in the length, and it stretches in the length, and I can see, you know, gravity's going to just do that. So I mean, it's really not short. It's just, you know, it's probably an inch shorter than I would make my other sweaters, but I'm counting on stretching an inch.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Well, thank you. It's very warm. That was the one thing. I was really glad I finished it before we went to the lake, because this laying on my lap is like a blanket. In fact, I put it on my husband's lap. I said, feel this. He said, ooh. So yeah, definitely it'll be great in the winter. It'll be great with a jean jacket. Now, I had this much yarn left. I don't know what just happened there, y'all. Oh, my mouse got knocked. Huh. I'll see how much it bothers me. I may take this off and add a couple of inches to my sleeves, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I'm going to move on. So anyway.
Do that in number 2. You can do that
there
in
you
number
go.
2.
Yeah, I mean, this is so warm. And the one nice thing is when they're a little shorter, if you plan on wearing them, you know, with a jacket or something, it's not going to get all bunched up. So it's all good. In fact, I had to crank the air down just to sit here with you guys to wear it because it is warm. Toby needs to be sheared or clipped, that's for sure, because he'd be miserable in North Carolina. So anyway, so what else you got going on?
Well, like I said, I don't have any finished objects, but
what you're working on is...
I figured since I'm needing emotional support right now.
You need emotional support. Yes, you do.
I need emotional support. So I have jumped on the bandwagon with all the people. I mean, this became popular a few years back, and I was in a yarn shop in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and they had actually kits made for this, and so I picked up a kit, and of course, y'all know me. I put lots of things in the queue, but it takes me a while to pull them out, and then I put a lot of whips in there too. So, but I thought, what can I do that'll be quick and it'll be enjoyable, and maybe give me some emotional support. And so I am making a chicken.
Oh my gosh, you are. Look at that.
Chicken.
What is that yarn you're using?
Well, I love this, and it's by Barocco, and it is actually ultra alpaca natural. It's all undyed fiber. Now, of course, the burgundy is dyed, but the yarn that I'm using for the chicken itself is it's undyed, and it says it's 50% superfine alpaca and 50% Peruvian wool. And of course, the care is hand wash in cool water. And so this is by Barocco. So you can even order this online if your local yarn shop doesn't carry it. But it's been fun knitting with it because it's undyed fiber and it's unprocessed. I mean, I'm seeing all the little hairs, I know about all the little hairs.
Yeah, very hairy.
Yes, so I'm making the head right now, and I love the way that you piece this together, your little tails, so that they're doubled, and that's just with a single crochet stitch right here.
Oh man!
And so I'm making the head, and then once I get the head done, I'll have the beak and the little rooster top. What do you call that? The rooster
comb.
top.
It's the comb.
Yeah, I got to make that. And then there is a bottom that you have to make that goes on here, and a lot of people weight these so that when you're sit them
You could
down
put like
somewhere,
beans, dried
Yeah,
beans
it
or
could
something in
beans.
there.
Yeah, so it won't take me much longer. I should have this to show next time, but I wanted to tell you that really I went on to Facebook, and there are a lot. I mean, you can go in there and put in emotional chickens, knitting and crocheting, and all kinds of
She needs
kinds
therapy.
of-
She needs a chicken.
I need
The therapy chickens.
I was talking to a friend, another friend on the phone this week, and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm sitting here making knitting an emotional support chicken." And of course, she laughed. She said, "You're doing what?"
Oh my goodness.
So
Let me see.
anyway,
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me see if I can add one because the pictures are not adding like they should. There we go.
Oh yeah, if you go, so I
Oh,
took
look
some
at
of
those.
I took some of these chickens off of a Facebook page called Emotional Support Comfort Critters, and then it says knit and crocheted. So there is a crochet pattern for this emotional support chicken, and there's also knit patterns. But anyway, this is the Facebook page right here.
Oh, here, let me get-
Emotional Support Comfort Critters.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
And
This
I
is
am
actual-
telling you, the people, they go all out. They put jewelry on them and all kinds of different colors. And then,
Look
so
at
here's some
that.
pictures off of that Facebook's
Oh my
but
gosh.
they are darling. And
It's a great way to use up scraps.
It really is, because you really can make a chicken any color. And years ago for Christmas, it was like one of these things that the kids always said they hated and thought it was so stupid. But my husband, you remember the little kiosks in the mall that would carry the new calendars for the year? They had calendars and all kinds of New Year stuff. And he would go in there every Christmas and December, and he would buy our kids a chicken calendar. It was a calendar.
Really?
Every time you turned the pages, there was chickens. And he did that several years, and it became a joke, that,
my
we're going to get a
goodness.
chicken calendar this year. And I told my husband last night, I said, you know what? In honor of the chicken calendars, what I ought to do is knit all of the kids emotional support chickens.
You should. Oh, I dare you. I dare
They
you.
are used to getting hats and socks and things
Doing
like that.
chicken.
I think I need to knit all of them an emotional support chicken.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what I've been working on the last few days. And so, this part that I showed you, I started it yesterday afternoon. So
Oh, wow.
So look, this is a quick project, and really,
That's part of the emotional support. It goes fast.
That's right. You can finish it. And so, but yeah, it goes really fast. The pattern is easy to follow, and so it's a great little. It's really a great stash buster. And,
Yeah.
who wouldn't want an emotional support chicken?
Well, here's my support chicken.
Oh,
It
my
is
gracious.
so hot here. My support chicken gives me eggs, but they're fried. Oh my gosh. There's my support chicken.
Oh my gracious.
Oh, it has been it's been this way everywhere. We're not complaining.
Yeah.
We're just commenting. We literally, when we were at the lake, it was 102 degrees. Which is why we, we're bobbing around. We went to Walmart. There's a Walmart close by, and we went to find what was left in the pool section to float around, And so he's like, should we grill? I said, just throw it on there and open it up. You don't even need a flame. We could probably grill our bratwurst without a flame. It was hot. Yeah, it was vicious, but anyway, oh, how fun. Well, I never thought that Susie would have chickens, but I guess you're going to.
They're the best kind. You don't have
I
to
know.
feed them. You don't have to take care of them. They just give you emotional support.
That's right. That's right. Oh man. Well, as far as a work in progress, I'm gonna first show you this. And if you, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Until you touch it. So, you guys, it really was so difficult. Where is my balled up? I gotta find. So, if you can see this, I wonder if I can make this just one picture. I'm gonna try. Nope, that would be me. Just hold on. This yarn is a dry clean only, 64% mohair, 28% wool, 8% nylon, and it's rayon boucle. Boucle, is that how you say it? So here is why this was the yarn from Satan himself. Okay. So when you, I wish I'd get that picture back up because it's beautiful. But this one's already getting fuzzy. Do you see how it's getting real fuzzy?
So was this in your yarn stash that you pumped?
It was.
Okay.
It was some Rita yarn. So you have two strands. You have the mohair, and then you have the boucle, I think is how you say it. And in the skein, they're of course riding side by side so that you get the full color, the full blue, the full yellow. They're not mixed together. When you try to ball it, much less knit it, I gotta show you this, the little nubs, see these little nubs? They're like pipe cleaners, drags the mohair, and what happens is it gets all out of sync. So the mohair is being, see how that's stretched? Oh, here, you gotta understand this. Oh. So the boucle grabs the mohair and at a different rate. So as you're working with it, it gets all out of sync. Well, so I actually did not put this on a Swift. I tried, but it clung so poorly to each other that I couldn't separate it, and it was awful anyway. But I finally got it in a ball, and I started to knit it, and then the same thing started happening. I mean, because as I was balling it up, I'm pulling and stretching. I'm stretching the mohair because you can see this is, the mohair is straight and this is not. So the mohair was always ahead of the boucle. So I'd have to fix it, and at some points I had to cut, and it was awful. Anyway, so as I'm knitting it, the same thing was happening, and it just became a nightmare. So I worked on it, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't think you can really redo mohair. I've never used mohair before, to be real honest. And it is really, I think, a one-use wonder. And so this just became yucky. So what I'm thinking I might do, and I have another one. Look at this one.
Oh, it's so pretty. But you know, mohair is not something that you won't have to ball up. It always comes balled up already, and you pair it with something so you're able to pull it evenly. So yeah, I would think that. So would be
this is messy, and I've got two of these. I've got
beautiful yarn.
But I'm thinking maybe it'll just be really pretty around my neck, like in its hank. I'll just make a scarf, because I thought I was just going to make a thin, fairly thin scarf, and it had this really cool pattern with waves where you do yarn overs and then you drop them in the next, the next row, and it made it real pretty because of the mohair. But anyway, so that was a disaster. I wasted a lot of time, but that's okay. And then, of course, I'm working on my poncho, and Jody wrote us in the on one of the episodes, well, when we were talking about this, and it really stumped me, because she's like, basically, I hate to say it, but I don't like your second ball of yarn. And I thought, is she talking about the second ball to this? I was confused, or the second yarn, I think is how she said it. And then it dawned to me it was the one, it was really talking about this and adding that other yarn. And it really, I was so glad she's being honest, because she gave me the freedom to say I don't like it either. But I did knit another sweater, And I
You're
really,
on a roll.
I had to do something. It's my Christmas in July project, but it was really cute. This is actually a yarn from Chelsea's Yarns. It was a very small, and it's got some sparkles in it, and it's real pretty. And there's really not much in there. It was probably made for a cuff and a toe, if that. I don't have a lot left, but I think I can get another one, but I think I'm just going to knit some little sweaters with it. I found a free pattern and the sweater was half this size, and I'm like, no can do. So all I did was double it, and it was super
But you know
simple.
what? You can do those and make a cute little garland.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
making
that'll
a
be
garland
for
So
Christmas.
probably what I'll do is I'll do some sweaters with the little tassels or the little pom-poms in between, alternate. So, yeah.
I have a confession.
Did you get another Advent?
I have. I have
No! What?
Well, let me tell you, and I don't know if they have any left. Let me tell you what I did. So, I've been bored, sitting a lot the last few days because I really can't do a lot. And so it came across, I bought the Good Tidings Advent from Barrett Wool. I love seeing all
I got to
the
look it up
things.
right now. I'm going to look it up.
Barrett Wool, and it's the Good Tidings Advent pre-order. I'm so excited about it. You get all of these little, you're making little teeny things to create a garland, and they give you all of the material that you need. So you have the small little amounts of yarn. They gave a little preview of what you're going to be doing, and this was the Good Tidings Advent picture. So you're making these little things that will stick inside of these little, and they almost look like they're felted. But then you're knitting or crocheting, I'm not sure which, little things to go inside of these little, I don't know what you're going to call them.
Hold on. I'm going to pull it up. Hold on.
Oh, it's just, I caved.
Can you see it? Can you see what I'm seeing?
I can see it.
So that's what the Advent is about. Oh my gracious. How darling.
Yeah, and when I read the description, I thought, oh, even if I just do one of them, and I just through the year and making one, a month or whatever. But they send you everything that you need. And it's just precious to make an Advent garland.
Oh my goodness. Well, so how big do you think each of them are?
I would say they're probably maybe 4 to 5 inches total, but I don't know how big the things are. Probably what they're sitting in, I would say, would be about 4 to 5 inches in height. And then you've got your little pieces that you're knitting that fit down inside of them. And I would think that there's 25 of them. But I caved.
You caved. Where did you find that? That's interesting.
I get emails from Barrett Wool, and they. If you've never, you need to go to the website if y'all have never been there, and just scroll through and look at the precious things that they do. If you like knitting small little things, little toys, and if you have grandchildren that love stuff like this, I have bought some of their small little toys, and they send everything with it, and they sell out quick. They're a very small little company. They make up the kit, so everything is sold as a kit, and so you buy the kit and everything you need is in there. And so this is the first time that they've ever done an Advent that they give you everything in the Advent to make their small little things. And
Yeah.
so when I saw it, I thought, oh, I have to have that. So
Oh, wow.
I caved. And then the cozy
Is that
knitter,
3?
you know,
Is that 3 Advents?
that's 4.
Oh! Is it really?
Well, so I have one that is from Chelsea Yarns. I've gotten hers, which is 25 minis and 1 big skein. That's what comes in that Advent. And then from Homespun House, I love the way she dyes yarn. And I did her 4 sock sets for the Advent Sunday. So you'll open an Advent sock set each Sunday of Advent. And so there's 4 sock sets in that. And then Speckled Finch, where I get my yarn box from, you know, I'm doing the DK yarn each month with Speckled Finch. And they have a 12 Days of Christmas. And I always like to do 12 Days of Christmas starting the day after Christmas Day. It extends the Christmas season for me. So I have that. So that's 3. And then I just did Barrett Wool's Advent. That's 4. And then I ordered the Cozy Knitter sock set. I have done that for years, and I started not to do it, and I thought, no, I want to order it. And so I have ordered the Cozy Knitter sock set, you know, that you do a stripe a day, which the chances of that I will do that are very slim. But so last year I had a lot of the 25 mini Advents, you know, I had 3 of them, but I've done different things this year. So although I have 5, they're all different, and so they'll be fun. There will only be one, well, I'll have 2 that I open with something every day. So it would be the Barrett Wool Advent and Chelsea Yarns. And then Homespun House is a sock set each Sunday of Advent. And then I have the Cozy Knitter sock set that I'll open up at the beginning. And maybe I'll be brave enough to try to do a stripe a day on that. And then I have the 12 Days of Christmas that will start the day after Christmas with Speckled Finch. So,
well, how fun.
I've caved quite a few times.
You caved. Well, I actually dug some yarn out, and I'm really excited about it. I have 4 skeins of this, and isn't that pretty?
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's got a lot of colors, and it is, it doesn't say, but I believe it's a light worsted. In fact, it could be, it's not a DK, it's thicker, so it's either like a heavy DK or a light worsted.
A light worsted.
It is, well, and it is called the Traveler from Dragonfly Fibers. Okay. And it's got to be at least a decade old. It's more Rita yarn, but I actually have 5 of these, not 4, and I'm going to make a long sleeve ranunculus with it. So I don't even know, I might not use that much. You know, I mean, I only used, but oh, look at the colors in there.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And for winter, I think, I mean, it is thick, but I don't know. I still think I could wear it in the winter. I do wear I obviously wear long sleeves in the winter. In fact, somebody was mentioning how when they came to the South, they'd never felt such cold as the South's cold. And it kind of is true. When I first,
wet cold.
Yes, and when I visited the first time when we were considering moving here, it was 40 degrees and it was raining, and it felt like it was 0. I'm from Wisconsin. I was so cold I couldn't stand it. So I got what they were saying. So we do have weather to do that, but I don't know. It's really, really, really pretty. It's got almost every little color. It's got the maroon, the blues. Look at that orange.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it'd be very cheerful. I think it looks very cheerful. So anyway, that's my next project, and of course I'm still working on my my 12 Days of Christmas is still going. But it's getting there. I'm gonna go to a local yarn shop and find, I think I'm going to go ahead and plug some purple. There's not a lot of purple in here. The purple kind of bleeds from here into here, and that's it. And then it goes into like blues and greens. I did find this. This is from something I made. It's a navy, and I could use that at the very, very bottom, maybe. But I need quite a bit of yarn yet, so I wish I could just find some little, I've been looking at sock sets from different people, but this is a very unique color palette of sorts. You know, the Fiber Seed does beautiful work, but none of the stuff she has currently really goes with this. So anyway, I'm going to have to add to it.
That's a good excuse to go to your local yarn shop.
Yeah, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and talk about some of our community responses, and we love it when you comment and write to us, because we read them and then we either answer back, or if we don't answer back, it's often because we're going to talk about it here on the episode. So of course, I already mentioned about Jody, how she she didn't like the yarn I was considering putting in there, and I agree. So thank you for being honest. Not going to use it. And Michelle wants to know, Susie, what yarn you were using for your blanket. And I'm thinking it's your last blanket, baby blanket. Don't know.
So the last baby blanket that I did for my granddaughter, I used is from Juniper Moon Farm, and it's called Cumulus, and it's a cotton. It's 94% cotton. Yeah, I don't know if
that is very shiny cotton.
Yeah, it is a.
I think I might have said that last time, but it's very silky.
It's a very soft. And this color is called Lily Lollipop. And again, it's Juniper Moon Farms, and it's called Cumulus. So yeah,
nice.
This is a wonderful yarn to work with. And I knit a lot of baby blankets, and one that I just have knit this year, I actually use Malabrigo yarn. This is from Malabrigo, and this fiber it's a worsted weight yarn, and I'm trying to see what it's I'm not seeing what the fiber is. But anyway, it's Malabrigo. I'm sure it's like a merino wool, and and this is called Eucalypto, and it's the Rios. I love knitting with Malabrigo Rios. I've done a lot of like sweaters for guys, like my sons and son-in-law, and my dad and my husband. Malabrigo Rios is just a great, just all around worsted weight yarn. But I knitted a baby blanket out of that. And then if you don't want to, spend a lot of money on yarn for baby blanket, another one, in fact, I'm making some baby blankets out of this right now, and this is by Barocco, and it's the Vintage Chunky. And it makes it's more affordable, and it is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon, and of course it's machine washable. And so this is a great option for baby blankets too. So yeah, I use a lot of different kinds.
Okay.
So it just kind of depends on which baby I'm knitting for or crocheting for, and the mom's knowledge, because I don't want to frustrate a new mom with a hand washed blanket if that's something that I feel like that she probably wouldn't want to do. So anyway.
Yeah, well, good. And then the other one that, let's see, Cynthia had mentioned that she uses the dish soap from the wellness store, and it's really interesting. I wanted to ask if you were able to get the eucalyptus and sea salt, because that smells so good to me, and I believe it's already all sold out. It was kind of a limited time thing.
I didn't get any of that.
Oh, I love it. I've been hand washing dishes just to smell it. I really wish they do the plug-ins in that, because the store makes natural plug-ins that are, don't harm your lungs and whatnot. And I would love that scent, but it's yummy. It was very, very yummy. So that's good.
I diffuse eucalyptus every single day. It's a wonderful essential oil for your lungs.
Yeah, it's
love
good.
it.
I know. I like my diffuser too. So, and now we can get to the part where we are going to talk about the winner of our sock set. Can we show it again? Drum roll.
Yes.
I'll put a drum roll in here. Isn't that beautiful? I love those colors together.
It's beautiful. It'll make beautiful anything, but it's a sock set. So if you're a sock knitter, then you'll love knitting with this. And it comes from the Cozy Knitter.
Of course. And the winner is, Susie?
Drum roll. Is it Karen?
Yes, Karen Grasso 9825. And I was really excited.
Just remember Karen.
Because Karen has referred lots of people to us. She's been sharing our channel on, I don't know what social media site, to be real honest. And she shared her photos. We did not do a community spotlight because we didn't get any. But anyway, she has shared. So congratulations, Karen.
I'll need an address because I'll be mailing that out.
So Karen, email us to the contact@yarnoverwithus, your address, and we'll get that out to you. So so that's exciting. And so we're celebrating not only just our 200th subscriber, but in 2 weeks, we got actually 36 new subscribers. So thank you. I know you guys are sharing, and that's exciting. So our group is growing, and we are working on the Zoom. To be real honest, we just got Susie's first now, kind of her life has gone, whew, and so we can schedule something, and we will let you know.
We're looking forward to that.
So anyway, do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Well, good. Well, that's okay. And we are getting a thunderstorm here, which I am rejoicing, but we may lose internet, which we often do in the country. So with that, again, congratulations, Karen. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cool.
Because I just want to make sure, oh my gracious, my yard guy's out there mowing. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Are you gonna make him go away?
No.
Grab something to drink and your favorite chair and yarn over with us. Your favorite chair? What? Well, that could work.
Yeah, that could work. Your favorite chair, your favorite project, your favorite needles.
I'm going to just do that sentence over. I'm going to do that sentence over. Okay. Well, see, I should have read it. Anyway. All right.
Well, hello. Now, try that again.